am here today to talk to you about a variety of drawing media, specifically drawing pencils and erasers. We're going to need to know all this stuff for our upcoming portrait assignment.
He's keeping busy as bleeding stones, with his machinations and his palindromes. It was anything.
And I know you're probably thinking, I already know all there is to know about pencils and erasers, but just wait, there is oh so much to know. There'll be a variety of tools available for you, and we need to know how to use them all. First of all, let's talk about pencils. You are going to have 6 different kinds of drawing pencils in which you can use, and they vary by darkness. First we have the 2H, which are spray painted light blue. All the 2H's are light blue, and this is the lightest mark making tool you have. It is used usually first for lay-in and decision making on where you want to place the different items of your drawing. So while you're still sketching or you're doing things that are of the lighter value, that's when you want to use your 2H pencil. Next we have HB, which I have painted like a navy blue. HB is the same as your pencil that you use normally. Your yellow pencil is usually an HB lead. This is the middle grade lead. It makes a slightly darker line than the 2H. You could use this for your middle values. You can also use this if you just like the way it feels better when you're doing your sketching and lay-in. And HB is a pretty versatile pencil. You can get a light mark and a dark mark depending on how much pressure you apply. Next we'll get to my favorite. This is a 2B pencil. I've painted this sort of a whitish, off-whitish color. 2B, we're starting into the B leads, which are the softer and darker leads. Anything B is on the softer and darker side. I like this because it doesn't get too dark, but you can still get a pretty dark, nice mark with it. I usually use this one when I'm starting to lay in my shaded areas of a drawing. So when I'm figuring out what is shaded, I'll use a layer of 2B first before going any darker, before venturing any darker. I have a 4B. This one's painted, I don't know, like a stony beige color, darker than the 2B. Once again, it's a B lead, so it's in the softer and darker variety. It gets even darker than the 2B. This is great for your middle dark values and shading. 6B, even darker than 4B. This one's painted more of a yellowy cream. Darker mark than the 4B. Softer, darker lead. Smearier, messier, softer. If you like the feel of the B leads, you're going to really like this 6B here because it is, you just feel it smush into the paper and it blends really, really well when we start talking about blending. And last, I think the scariest pencil. This is 8B. It is the softest and darkest pencil available for you for this project. It gets the darkest, it gets the blackest, and it's the hardest to erase. So I usually use this at the very, very end for the darkest of the darks when I'm looking at my whole drawing and see what needs to get darker and darker. I don't want to use this too soon because it doesn't erase very well.
All I being youths.
Now it's time to start talking erasers. You will have access to a pink pearl eraser. This is what's always on the center table for you whenever you need it. It is great for erasing back to paper. They're also great when they're brand new because they have these nice precise edges. As they get older, they're good for erasing big bulk spots as well because there's some pretty good mass here with the pink pearl eraser. Is the end cap eraser. It's the same type of eraser as pink pearl, just molded into a form that fits on the end of your pencil. So it's the same material, just a different form. I don't really have these for you, but some kids bring them to school. These I have in the center table as well. These are the ones you like to turn into dye and play with them. These are gum erasers. They're really crumbly. They're good for erasing big areas of mistake. Like you have lots of finger smudge marks in your background and you want to get rid of them. The gum eraser is great for that. It will create a huge amount of crumbs. That's fine. That's what it's supposed to do. Some people think they smell funny. That's really just a personal thing. Once again, the gum eraser is great for big background bulk erasing, not precision erasing. I'm going to have 2 tools for you for checkout if you are ready for precision erasing. These are fairly expensive and the refills are expensive, so use them only when you need to erase small, careful areas, not big backgrounds, because then you're just wasting the eraser. I have these ones. They're a white plastic eraser, but it's 2.3 millimeters, so it's pretty small. So if you wanted to get like the highlight erased out in the middle of an iris, or tiny little spokes or flicks in the middle of a flower petal, these are great for that, for subtractive drawing, if you wanted to put in some tiny details, or if you just wanted to clean up very precisely the edges of objects that you're trying to draw. The Tough Stuff eraser is very similar. It's a little bit bigger than the Tombow eraser, the silver one. It's still a white plastic eraser, so it erases good back to paper. And it's a small precision eraser, not as precise as the silver one, but works in general the same concept. And the final type of eraser that you're going to have access to is a kneaded eraser. Every one of you is going to get your very own kneaded eraser. As part of your lab donations, cover the cost of this. This will be your eraser to keep forever and ever. They show up in a cellophane packaging like this when they are brand new. And I'm not going to open this one because this is going to somebody. But then you open it up, take it out of the plastic packaging, and then you smush it up, and it is a malleable eraser that squishes and moves and gets gooey and will look something like this. And you can bend and play with it. We usually lose about half a day when I give them to you because kids start making little eraser dinosaurs or whatever out of them. These kneaded erasers are great for 1,000,001 things. I love them. This is my favorite go-to eraser. They are good for blending and smearing. They are good if you drew something a little too dark and you want to knock it back a value and make it lighter. So you can just pat it with the eraser and make it just a little bit lighter. You can mold it and form it into different shapes if you need to get into a small area of your drawing, or you can flatten it out nice and fat if you need to get and pat down a broader spot in your drawing. If it gets too dirty, you can just stretch and mold it back together, and that will clean the eraser again, so the eraser itself won't leave smudge marks. Or maybe you like it when it's dirty and you want to use that smudgy quality of the eraser to draw with. It's an amazing tool. I love the kneaded eraser. So here are all of your erasing tools for this portrait project. Alright, you are lastly going to get one more object for this portrait or project. Each one of you is going to get a blending tool. You are either going to get a stump, which will look something like this. They come in a variety of diameters, so thicknesses. And you get to choose. We'll have a bag and everyone gets to choose their own stump. This is a fairly tiny one. It's basically just like a solid tube of paper. They're a one-use only tool. You don't sharpen them and reuse them. They're fairly inexpensive, so if you want another one, you can go to the store. But they come really skinny, medium skinny, and there's even some fatter ones that you will have access to, and this is called a stump. These are called tortillons. You'll get one of those as well. Notice that this only has one end that's pointy versus the stump that has 2 ends that are pointy. They also come in a variety of diameters, or tortillons, and you can see if you look very closely that they are coiled paper. You can see the spiral pattern of the paper. These are also a one-use only tool. Some kids try to sharpen them and then the whole thing just sort of unravels on them. And they are used for blending, for smearing the pencil, the graphite, on your paper and blending it so you don't see the actual mark making, the scratch marks of the pencil. They're pointed so you can get into some smaller areas. They come in bigger sizes and smaller sizes so you can get into the different areas of blending that you need. I am lukewarm on stumps and tortillons. I think it's worth an experience to play with them and see if you like them. I like them best when they're dirty because then you can get sort of a gray mark with them. You can use them to actually draw with and get not a full dark mark, but you can get a very faint mark that sometimes is really beautiful and appropriate in your drawing. My favorite blending tool, however, as high-tech as it is just a paper towel. You can twist it around your finger and get where you need to go. It's great if you have a big background that's dark and you need to blend a whole big area, or if you're doing a little subtractive drawing like in hair. So you've decided the whole hair area, you're going to put a base of a nice medium gray and you're going to blend it, and then you're going to draw with the eraser and the pencil the hair texture on top of that and work a push and pull effect. I think paper towel, cheap, readily available, and is really the best blending tool in my personal opinion.